There's a new stream now. How weird that it's. Okay, now we have one person. Yeah. Hey, Stacy, it's good to see you. I'm gonna have to probably reset this thing. I guess it was the weather. This is the new one. Can you see us? We're back. Okay, is it less pixelated now? Did we like fix that? We probably did, didn't we? This is the new one. Okay, it looks good. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Karen. Thank you for keeping us straight. Much better. Okay. Hey, Mama Coco. Hi. That was crazy. I kept seeing that it looked pixelated, but I didn't know it was that pixelated, and I should have just not messed with it. But hopefully y'all will find your way back over there. It's starting to climb a little bit. Got this water on me. You see what I'm saying though? Like this one, Sean. Oh, there it is. Okay. So the other one, I don't know why the other one says it's still going because it's not.
Okay.
You feel me?
I do feel you.
Much better. Okay. So, Sawyer Barn, you gonna get up there? Go jump up there. I'm not sure. Yes, PB Cat, we're back. I was like, we're not gonna go. We're on a roll. We can't just close it down, right?
So you're on a whole different one now, huh?
Yes.
I'm gonna type in there because there's still 12 people.
Quit feeling each other. I told everyone to come here. Thank you. So it not that it matters because I'm not gonna do anything with it again. Is it still pixelated? We're gonna get right back onto what we were doing. Right?
Hey, I'm a mod. I'm gonna go with...
You're a mod on your...
Well, here's the thing, because I went over with Tomahawk Sean and just to see if I could go into his stream, and it's like showing the same thing. Hold on.
Okay. We could be streaming 2 streams at the same time. It's good. Okay. Hey, Hope, how are you? It's so good to see you. We are much better. Okay. So that makes it all better. We were covering, let's go ahead and finish the end of what we were talking about.
Okay.
Hey, Mama Ricky, how are you? It's good to hear it because sometimes I feel like when we look at some people, like when we look at Angelo's dishonesty, it's like, well, I don't want anybody to think that, it's somehow like, unfair, but it's totally fair because he's lying. You know what I mean? He's lying, and he didn't facilitate missions where prisoners came over here and stuff like that. I mean, none of that makes any sense.
What I think is the more accurate thing is, like, I could say, especially when I was a staff sergeant, I could say that I'm on a fire team and I'm on a brigade combat team that can deploy, in 48 hours to anywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. But I'm not like the commander of it. And I don't give reports. It was just the reason why there's a number of reasons. And, I've got a couple of friends that kind of I bounce things off of, and they're dudes. And they're like, this guy, talking about Angelo, you have a history with as a friend and then as a foe. I mean, and that's it. And that's why you feel like you need to call this out. Yeah. And it's a military thing. He's kind of lying about his service. Other than that, he's just a character.
Right.
In the drama community. And that's what people that don't really know him, and they know him like first when he hung out around me, and then he was hanging out on the pirate ship, and now, hanging out wherever he hangs out. They're like, he's just a goofball like anybody else that jumps on panels and says whatever they say. Mm-hmm. It's not like people really take him super serious.
Yeah.
But
I do too, Hope. Hope says, and it says, I think he's very jealous of your service, jealous of your status. And that's what we're trying to say. Don't, Angelo, just own what you did. You know what I mean?
It'll be fine.
There are people that serve 20 years that are or support. They pay, they do the pay. That's just a bad example. But like they're in finance or they're in, hey Nelson, supply, whatever. Those are still just as, heroic. And I know that word gets overused, but just you don't have to be like, James Bond or whatever.
Right. And
You can be
if you do go over, I think if you go to the other live stream, which is still live, I think.
Is it still live?
It says it is. And Karen dropped the link in there to Texas Girls, video. And I have no problem telling, go over. I mean, a lot of people are like, we're going to review the video, watch us. No, go watch her because she's
Yeah.
trying to build her channel. And we don't have it, there's no beef with her. I would have hoped that during that whole time when he was really going out there and representing himself like he was, some freaking high ranking dude, that she would have said, is there anything that you can show? Because there's going to be a few people that are going to call you on this. What can you show to prove it?
Right.
That's what interviewers do.
Right.
When it starts going way out in the left field, you just go, hey, what can you show us? Anything? No,
Yeah.
he can't.
Or he's not willing to.
Right.
Hey, Tinger Soil, Lauren. We are a very cute elderly couple. I love it.
We are.
The
Lucky for me, she likes old dudes.
Yes. Okay, good. So then she put the link there again. That's basically, Sean was spun up.
Hey,
he was
Nelson.
like, man, this dude just doesn't stop.
And the thing is I think that, and it's like anything else. It's like when certain people get attention, people that I've been around, like a lot of people come to me when what's her face is getting like attention, and I'm like, look, don't worry about that. I mean, eventually it's like, don't worry. I mean, at first I was like, oh my God, we've got to warn people. And I'm like, no, the people know who he is.
Right.
There'll be a few people like there was another comment in there and I read, and they were like, this person was like supporting him. And I read this person's, like their bio, and they're talking about their disabilities that they have and this and that. And, this is a person that he's getting hook, line, and sinker.
Right.
That's not, it's somebody that admittedly struggles with whatever they struggle with. To me, if it wasn't so, like if he was smarter about it, he's not real smart when he says this either. He comes out and he just,
bloviates.
Yeah,
Isn't that what it's called?
He just
Bloviates.
bloviates. He's just very, what's the other word that, very loquacious with all this stuff that is clearly blown out of proportion, that is clearly exaggerated.
And one part of it, when you looked it up, you said, I think you read it straight off of here. Remember?
I was looking at certain things, like mission statements and stuff, and it did appear that he was reading it like straight out of Wikipedia. He was just changing a little bit, changing
Like
locations and this and that. So anyway,
when y'all like come in, like go in for people in our chat, you're never going to get anywhere because you're just going to get hidden. If people are in here and can be seen, it's because we want them here. And that's just not going to happen. You can't easily troll us. You'll just be hidden.
I mean, people can come in there and Robin's in the chat. If she's here.
It's cool, Karen.
Yeah.
We always say this. If you come in here and there's someone in here that you don't like, just block them and keep it moving.
Here's the thing.
You don't have to get all tied up about it and give it. Just block and move on.
So Robin's here. She's made her bed in certain ways with certain people, as have Mandi and I. We have, as has Karen, as has other people. They come in here and there's people around that just don't like them. You're not going to attack another person in our chat.
Right.
You can go say whatever you want to say. Mandi and I have been pretty clear. There's only like one or two people, maybe three people that absolutely can't come in the chat.
Yeah.
We're going through a little bit of a transition where there's a lot of people starting to come in that didn't before.
Right.
And when that happens, there are people that don't like them they're gonna follow them in. So
it's just not that serious. We have made more new friends from people that Well, like Sin was pretty much, like we've said, she was pretty much executed right on Wendy's
Yeah,
stream, Wendy and
right,
Randy's stream, with little to no, like without talking to her first. They did it, and we like her, we love
right,
her. So it doesn't matter if they've been friends with someone else or not. If you come in here, we're not going to let people treat you
right.
that way,
Sin, I was thinking about a time when we were in Texas when
right?
Sin was going through something about 4 or 5 years ago. We had just got together, and
Hey,
a lot
Melinda.
of us, in our camp reached out to Sin. I don't know what it was, Sin. I don't know. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. But I just remember, like in DMs or in like comment sections,
Me?
no, Sin was going through it, and we were living in Texas, and there was
I
a
don't
lot.
remember that.
I do. And so she was on Randy's, in Randy's camp, and we didn't have anything getting it. So there were people I know. I reached out to her, and a few other people from our camp did.
Yes.
And then and then as soon
Hey.
as I mean, you got to say Sin, whatever way Randy was going with it, Sin was there for her. Like,
Mhm.
I hate the word bulldogging for him, but it's like Sin was her number one. I mean, she was going to be there, tooth and nail for whatever Randy was saying, even if it was kind of ridiculous because that she was her friend. And so that when that happened to her, it was like it showed way, way more about Randy than it ever did about Sin.
Yeah.
Way, way more.
Yeah, well, that you'll have to remind me of that later because I don't remember. Yes, we have a few people that are here that have come from different places and we take them in. Karen was like, "Does it make us the island of misfits?" Possibly, but and Princess Fortunate said, "The way I see it, y'all are just harmless and boring. You give your
Yeah, we
yeah,
are,
we
man.
are.
And that's what people when people get super frustrated with us for whatever reason and they have nothing else to say, that's what they blurt out. They're fucking boring. They're just boring. Even Kiwi Farms, when Sam was relentlessly going for us and was beseeching Kiwi Farms to go after us, Kiwi Farms was like, Sam, they're fucking boring.
We don't even want to watch
We
them.
don't.
They're
I
that
mean,
boring."
we don't want to hear
You want to
Sean
know
and
something
Mandy.
funny yesterday? I'm going to tell them.
Okay.
Okay, so do y'all remember when social media, a lot of the platforms went down yesterday for a while? It was Facebook, WhatsApp, there's a whole slew of them. And some of them were down for a couple of hours, 3 hours, something like that. That combined with the fact that right now, I don't know if you've noticed, but mail is taking a lot longer to get places. They're a little bit understaffed. If you've been to your local post office lately, you've probably noticed
Your
they're
mail
up to
sucks right now,
they're up
doesn't
to
it?
their ass in
Yeah.
alligators or whatever. So I was like, okay. Oh, thank you, Hope. I was like, okay, so something is going on in our country, right? Like they're trying to restrict communication. They are
They're
so
trying to isolate us from one another.
oh, yes, and we really, we're crazy about you. So I was talking to Loretta and Karen, and we were talking about the fact that it may be time for us to head towards Karen's house where she's got the canned goods and the
Yeah,
beef
she's
jerkies.
ready, man.
I don't know if she does beef jerky. I think
Do you
she
guys have a satellite dish that we can have one big live stream
right.
with
This has to
everybody
do
that
with
hangs
us
out?
being boring too. And so I was like, Loretta, what does your husband hunt or anything? Because Karen's husband hunts and Sean fishes, and she's like, well, I think he likes to fish. I was like, so we've got fish, we've got whatever, and then I'm like, but I go to bed at like 9:30, and Sean's asleep by 10, and they were like, we
'Cause
go to
we're
bed
old.
early too, and it
We're
was
an
like,
elderly couple.
and I was like, we're gonna be showing up with 21 chickens, 2 cockatiels, a dog, 3 cats, and
That's
anything else
yeah.
that needs a ride.
We really are serious when we get donations from y'all to this channel. It is, these animals are like our kids.
We love to
Yeah,
get like the different baits at PetSmart. They have live bait there, not like minnows and stuff, but they have all different kinds of
Like-
worms and grubs and whatever. We're like, oh, let's see if they'll eat these ones. And some of them are like $7 for a little container.
Yeah, it's a little. And if they don't like them, it's like, well, that sucks. But I'm telling you, you might get like
right.
a red worm, like a
Stitch.
little red wiggler from a fishing bait, and throw it out there. And there's certain kinds of chickens like it, like the
It's
Orpingtons.
weird. Yeah.
We have 3 Orpingtons, which are big, like yellow chickens, buff Orpingtons. And as soon as the cars pull in, they go straight to the grills of the car and pick the bugs out. They like bugs. So when it rains like it is today, they're getting bugs. The other chickens don't like bugs, they'll like the
Some
something
like
different.
tomatoes, some
Yep,
like,
some like the
I think
tomato
it has
sauce.
to do is where they come from, where
Right.
they originally, like where they were indigenous to, is what's found there. Stitching and is hilarious. She said, I would like to remind y'all that they're boring because Wendy said it first.
That's right.
She's like, they're just boring. They're just nobody wants to watch them.
I noticed that when we went live,
Yes.
Air Boston, and I think that, I mean, I think BBT and Air Boston, they were going live right when we were going live, and they do a fabulous job. That channel, Air Boston, does a fabulous job of doing shorts about Wendy, and
I'll be in charge. Yes.
they even talked about us. If you go into our community page and go on down, there's one, and when you go down to it, it says Desperado across it. That is Air Jordan, Air Boston's.
Do you want some Air Jordans?
Yeah, I do. That was Air Boston's little short video that they did, where the very first thing in the video was Wendy says, "Sean, you're the only one that says that Diane handed it our ass. Show us proof. Show us a timestamp. Show us anything." And in that video, they show 2 or 3 timestamps where that happened. So we put it on our community
They're
page.
famous for that. If you try to talk to them about something like on panel and you say, well, you tend to lie. Give me 5 examples right now. Give me 5 examples. Or when they say, Mandi, nobody, the last time ATX, nobody thinks that, whatever. And I can name 5 people, and she starts listing people, and I'm like, what the hell are you listing people for? I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care if Hippie Peace doesn't like.
I could
what
go
do
and
I
get
care?
5 people right now, and it's like I could go get 15 that don't like us.
I'm like, yeah, I can name more than that.
It's not,
but,
yeah.
But it was like, oh my gosh, it was like. So I'm curious to see as drama unfolds how that'll play out. I don't want. I strongly suggest they leave Sin alone.
Yeah.
Leave her alone.
Yep.
She don't want nothing to do with you. Just don't mention her. Don't talk to her. Just about her.
And apparently she gave you a chance. She,
Mm-hmm.
from what we understand, is there was a time around the holidays where she was willing to. It seemed like this happened like 2 weeks ago, but it's been a few months now. It's been like 2 or 3 months, and I don't talk to Sin like Mandi does. Mandi and Sin have developed a friendship, and some things it's like we're not going to ever divulge them, but it's like you need to leave Sin alone, man.
Mm-hmm.
She's got
yeah, just leave her alone.
Yeah.
And don't talk about her kids. Mm-hmm. It's none of your business what her sons, like any things that they suffer with. That's their business. It's their mama's business. Don't talk about their kids anymore. Mm-hmm. Don't talk about her boys.
And it's funny because
in any way, don't contact them. Don't do any of it.
And this is mostly directed at Wendy. I'm pretty sure that Randy wants to leave it alone. I'm pretty sure Randy wants to leave it alone. You could tell in their last stream, they probably streamed since then, but in that particular one where Wendy had to walk back the things that she said, and give kind of a half-ass apology. She gave an apology, but she still. It
was a loaded apology.
She told Sin to keep showing everybody who you are.
And that's gaslighting.
That's gaslighting to the
I'm learning,
max,
you guys.
Man.
I'm
Just
learning.
Keep showing. I'm going to apologize, but you're still a piece of shit. That's what she was saying. Even though her own counterpart on, Randy is like, let's stop this.
She just doesn't want to do it anymore.
I don't want to do it. And
she wants to kick back, maybe do like, a little. I don't think she wants to talk about her friendship with Sin anymore.
No.
And to Randy's credit, it's between Sin and Randy.
Right.
When you leave it alone.
Always been, if you look at the dialogue back and forth, it's Wendy doing 90% of the vitriol, the emotion. Randy is tired of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and if she has any normal thought in her body, which I don't really give her that much credit for, when a friendship dies, it's sad.
She was, yeah.
It's sad.
It is sad. No matter, what happens. That one was very public, and that's unfortunate for Sin unfortunate for Randy because she lost a good friend. Mm-hmm. Wasn't she spun up?
And the thing is,
she's so spun up for someone that doesn't watch anybody. Mm-hmm. doesn't watch anybody, doesn't know any
Doesn't
of
know
this, but
anything.
stays in a state of histrionic.
And Sin's relationship with Randy is 100% none of her business.
Right. Randy said she could never hate me, and Wendy
Yeah.
pretended she didn't know me.
It was so funny. That also is
They're
posted
angry.
somewhere.
Yeah. And Karen never gets blocked. And if she does, they unblock her. So if you've been trolled by Karen, the one day it was like the topic Randy put was, maybe I'm the ass, or maybe it's me that's the asshole. And Karen went in and she was like, "You're the asshole, Randy." And
Right
she was
into
like,
her stream, and she lost her shit. And that's the thing. I mean, Wendy, like when Randy has her, like Karen will go on our behalf into other chats and troll. When we get trolled, or when people come over from Randy, and she's got a few people, they're never doing it on Wendy's behalf. No. They're always doing it on Randy's behalf. They're saying blah blah blah, and they're speaking up for Randy. There's not a single one of them that comes over and says that.
Traditionally, people have dealt with Wendy because of the counterpart. Right. They liked Diane. They liked her, but they would say, "I'm not crazy about Wendy. She's condescending." Right. I'm not saying like what they do, like categorically saying, "You have no friends, Wendy." That's not what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. But I'm just saying that
your niche is being second fiddle, and being the sanctimonious second fiddle to whoever you're.
And where would you go panel with if it wasn't for Randy?
It started way back with Witch's Brew, way back before the ladies.
She was going to save the world from Trisha.
Yep, she was going to save the world. They were going to do
that horrible
a freaking class action suit, and then she would bulldog for Witch's Brew. And then when we found Witch's Brew had a similar relationship that wasn't real.
Yeah. See, and, it's creepy. PF, it's creepy and beyond weird. Randy can hardly get a sentence out with W interrupting and talking over her, right? Like we're bad about it, but that is, and it's a total difference in energy. You have Randy who is, we'll just call it chilling, okay? I mean, I'm not going to get into why she would be chilling. Oh, he married his girlfriend, Rich's Brew did.
He did? So hold on. I want somebody to fill me in with that. Go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That was my only point, is that Randy doesn't match Wendy's energy. Wendy is like on a out of the stratosphere annoyed, and unless Randy's had her buttons pushed, she's not, and it just doesn't work right. He doesn't want to come back to the YouTube. Well, but did he marry? They for real got married, Mama Ricky?
Yeah, he wasn't really.
About 9 months ago, they talked to Witch's Brew. Any kids?
So 5 years ago, he was in the relationship, and of course they weren't. We were sparring back and forth, so of course I had to, kind of go at him Tomahawk style. And when I found out that they had never really met, I was less than friendly about it. But I will say I did offer to get a bus ticket.
Yeah.
So this is the same girlfriend. That's fantastic.
There's a few people we've offered to. That's awesome. It really is. I think that he got caught up in the hysteria.
He had the rudimentary skills to do stuff with his live streams that none of us had really learned. So he was willing to go in there and do some podcasts, some investigative stuff, put pictures. We were really, really in the infancy of the drama community. It was we didn't have a whole lot of people that knew how to do stuff. Witch's Brew did. The thing is what he was getting sucked into, doing dirty work for people, and that other people would elaborate on the stuff, and then when he would get attacked back, he wasn't cut out for it. He didn't want to do it.
Yeah. There's a lot of people like that, especially back then. Back in the beginning days, I remember the first time I wanted to make a video, and I remember thinking, well, people can say anything to you. Like, they can leave awful things in the comments. And they do. And you survive. And some of them are funny, and some of them, but things that are left in the comment section should never, ever make you cry.
Right. We've all had to learn that. Right. Every single one of us had to.
All of us have been trolled to the point that other than like Sean and probably most of the guys, have been trolled to the point where we showed our ass live.
Right. Especially when it's some faceless troll that comes in and says something.
Some people do it daily, like the Beast. They just keep going back and entertaining the trolls. But most of us just realize that a faceless person cannot judge us to the point that we feel bad about ourselves.
Right. That's exactly right.
I think we've all done our, and in the beginning it was crazy because when people would start talking about like lawsuits and stuff like that, it wasn't very long till it really started happening.
Right. It was a few years. We went through the first time where like there'd be petitions. People would start petitions, and we got 150 people to sign this petition. So certainly, YouTube's going to listen.
But I think when that old skanky beast got arrested the first time,
that kind of,
I think people were like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like but what happened with that is, and this is the pattern that people use. They figure out where somebody lives, and then they get close to somebody else that lives close. If you live in the same state as somebody like does, it's infinitely, exponentially easier to litigate against them.
Right.
So you find somebody that they want to make their life miserable. They find somebody else that's in the same town, and they get them to do it, and they pay them to do it. They said, "We'll give you gas money. We'll do this. We'll do that."
Princess Fortunate, it says, "You had me blocked, Mandi, for the longest. Pissed me off. I couldn't see what you were saying. This was a few years ago." That is my technique on Twitter, because I say when I am active on Twitter, I say some inflammatory bullshit and whatever. And so then someone will say, "You're fucking stupid." I'm like, and now I'm going to block you. And when I make a fool out of myself, you can't see it.
And so all your friends will be going, "Oh, did you see what you did?" No, I can't see what you did.
And also, PF, it's funny that you said that you popped in. I was going back to screenshots way, way, way long time ago in my phone. And there were screenshots, and it wasn't even bad stuff necessarily that he said. I mean, I think it said that ATX is a joke and stuff like that. But in the scheme of things, that's not bad. If you have a Twitter, I'll send you some of the screenshots. They're pretty funny. And I'm like, well, why in the hell would I have like screenshotted that? You know what I mean? I had you blocked in the chat too. I had little Stewie blocked for 2 years. And I finally unblocked him, and he was like, "She unblocked me," and he goes, "And the first thing I did was block her."
I know. Yeah, I mean, we've all come a long way. And that's what I said, like, to people.
Sean blocks no one.
I don't block anybody, because I really don't. It's hard. I mean, there are things that people can hit home with me, but nobody really has. Mandi knows them. I'm very, very, that's also a testament to the idiocy of my ex-wife, how dull-witted she is, because she was around me for
dull-witted.
Yeah, she was around me for 10 years. I mean, Mandi knows what makes me upset, and she knows what it is. And I would have thought that by now, old bullhead over there would have at least got close, but she just doesn't know, because she doesn't have the awareness, and that's with anybody, really.
She thinks that insulting, like, parts of your body and stuff, right? You're like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
well, you don't hear it.
There are certain things that have happened in my personal life, like historical things that have happened in my life, that if you were married to a person, that you would know, right? Just through talking about things. I mean, she can't even remember. She can't even remember who she went out with the night before. Right. So I thought for a hot minute that might be something that we would have to deal with. And we never did. She's too dumb.
Melissa, I have Sam's entire chat blocked. I can't. Yeah, she talks about, so what the word that she said there, Oliver Alert, that chat has a specific obsession with that fetish. And I'm not sure why, but they do talk about it a lot. They accuse lots of people of having, And beyond that, I'm not going to touch it, but you're exactly right. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about Sam, I think she is going to continue to draw a lot of people, because she's entertaining. She's not threatening anymore to anybody. Nobody really thinks that she is a threat anymore. She's a pain in the ass if she wants to be. But I think there's more and more people. She's going to continue to draw a crowd, because of people just want to see what audacious stuff that she says.
The most, what shocking stuff that she'll say.
Who is she going to accuse people of? What is she saying that she's going to do to this person? Yeah. Or how is she going to try to bully this other person? Because I think everyone's pretty sure that she can't touch them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, most people are not.
Not anymore. They've learned.
So Stitching says she's trolled worse now with the YouTube changes. So with different traffic coming through and flipping through live streams, there are some pretty epic comments. One of the ones I think I told you, I guess she mentioned OnlyFans. This is the beast. And someone in the chat goes, "You're like 50 and you have an OnlyFans." And then one person was like, "You can tell she looked good back in the day."
Back in
Like
the
she's
day.
like elderly or something. Though, and they're not even like, they may be trolling, but mainly they're just young people that are just
That are
saying
giving
that
giving
kind
an
of thing.
honest opinion.
Yeah.
And that's got to be mortifying for somebody with
Her
whatever her
pathology.
pathology
Yeah.
is. I mean,
It's interesting. I wouldn't Hope, I'm not quite sure. Mama Ricky is so funny. I'm not quite sure like if they're being bought or what, or if it's just the flipping thing, but it doesn't line up. Like it would be like we have 76 in the chat right now, and within a couple of hours we have like 30,000 views.
right.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't.
Or I think what did someone point out? Like she would do like maybe 3 streams in a day, and one of them would have 35,000 views, and the next one's got like 800.
Yeah, that's
So there's
that's a
something to
screenshot
that.
I saw on Twitter too.
People will stick around. Like there could be YouTubers that will have 30,000 views, and then by the end of the year they fall off. But not in the same day.
Yeah,
Not in the same day.
Melissa, I know that it's been quite a while, and I don't know where everybody stands. Whatever happened to Shoot the Shit? Does anybody know?
That's a good question.
If they're still not, are they still like? I mean, I know they were doing Patreon. No one probably knows, but I thought about that from time to time. There's a few people that I've wondered. I think, Paul, that she's got to be, but Stitching's right. It's not about the number of views, it's the watch time. Yeah, I do too. They had a good platform going. There are another ones that jumped on the Sam side and it just didn't work for them. She said 41 says Mandi and Melissa are besties. It's a chat, it's not our life. Health issues. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I knew Ricky wasn't doing so well.
Yeah, okay. So it was health reasons. That's what I was thinking. They were funny.
Well,
towards the end it got a little raunchy, but
I mean they were the only they were the first people in the drama community that when they did the porch love, they did that porch love that one Christmas, they did a lot of good for a lot of people. And that's really the only one. I know that like people have tried to do like things, charitable things, and they almost always blow up in their face. There's always something that happens. That ended up happening to them the next year. But I think that if there's one thing to take away from them, like it's not their legacy, because they did some fuck shit.
Yeah, when they put Takedown Man on and made peace, that was kind of when everybody was like, what?
Yeah, because if you remember, they actually drove to Florida and tracked him down.
Didn't Samantha do a little grifting off the first Porch of Love?
There was quite a few people that, I mean, they helped a lot of people though.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like 5 people or 10 people. They gathered $1,000 and spread it out over like 25 people.
They really
did. They did a lot. And I think they were shooting for like either 500 or 1,500, like for each person that was on the list. Right. And they would knock out 2 or 3 people a night.
Right. Yeah, the birthday stories were pretty funny that Ricky would tell. I won't say, I doxed her granddaughter. I always say this, like, and I know people are like, but Melissa and Princess Fortunate, what was your thought when you found out that Sean and I were together?
Yeah.
I always ask people that. I'm so curious, like, were they like, shocked, or they were like, that figures?
I bet they didn't believe, a lot of people just didn't believe it.
Yeah, they didn't think that it was possible that 2 of the most random people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think
it was not quite random though.
And then as far as Shoot the Shit went with that, Pam didn't believe it. She said she wanted a picture of us kissing. She got the picture of us kissing, and then when she had to believe, when it was pretty um for sure that we were together, then she said you need to go crawl. I mean, it was a whole thing with them too.
Mm-hmm. She said, I was shocked, actually. I thought it was Fairy Garden.
Fairy Garden.
Yeah, because everyone knew it was someone.
Well, Fairy Garden was there in North Carolina. That's the thing.
Yeah, but when people found out that you had a girlfriend and she was on YouTube.
Right.
And that was for about a week and a half that no one knew exactly who it is.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then they were
Well,
like,
I was doing those vlogs
bitch?
about once a week or once every 10 days. I was dropping a vlog. And,
yes. Wondered if we were being trolled. A lot of people thought it was a long troll.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, is that not insane though? Like we were talking about that the other day. I was like, how does that even happen? Like we're in this position, we're blissfully happy, but who would have ever thought that it would align in such a way that, yeah, I thought it was, she did. At first she thought it was Sam and Izzy. The Izzy thing is weird.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, Andy, didn't you got accused of sleeping with Izzy too?
Oh, everybody. She was just going, and I think that's the thing is that anybody that she ever knew that I had any kind of conversation with, and I talked to a lot of people in the community, but she was not close, was she?
Melissa, she lost a $20 bet. Thinking it was Fairy Garden. Oh my gosh.
$20.
But I'm happy. Thank you. PF says that she's happy for us. Wow, it's come a long way. I was like, I think that is Princess Fortunate. And if she's not in here to tell me to go fuck myself, I'm going to be shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, we
are a piece of work, right?
Mm-hmm.
How are you doing, Andy? You doing okay? I haven't seen you in a few days, but I guess it's because Paula hasn't been live. You think Fairy Garden would have been shocking? I think that would have given more credence to that would have fed the whole it's been going on for years.
Well,
thing.
I think that what Marla did to really get at Trisha was she would be like flirtatious, not even directly to me, but she would just put some comments like on her stuff,
right?
Not to me,
right?
You know, and it would just freaking drive her nuts, you know, because she'd go right into her comment section, just type something about me. I didn't even know what she was saying. And then, you know, she'd be losing her mind.
The few times I commented on your shit, man, she jumped all the way down my throat. I was like, Lord, calm down. I'm not after your man yet. That is kind of funny, though, because it was like all the time she was like, ATX once, whatever. And it's like, and if I did just go cherry pick them, which I didn't, then what does that say for you?
No.
Not you, her.
I know what you
mean. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a siren. I wish I was. I had more of a. We just had a really solid friendship.
Princess Fortunate, that's what I do. Shock and awe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, go get him, Sean. That's what I was thinking. If
Marla was busy taking veggies from her neighbor's garden.
I remember. It was kind of funny though. It was so like people freaked out. She was like with her flashlight going,
I know.
Well, they're too ripe. They're going to they're not going to be eaten before they go too bad or whatever. And it was like, oh, you know what I mean? Thank you, Karen. Felsie for a hot minute liked us too after we got together, and then she completely flipped and decided we were evil. And then
she was always back and forth with me, like
she's in that area, isn't she?
Yeah, she's around there. I think she was around where Seabreeze is.
Yeah.
You know.
They are. They went and did not that
they put it in the chat when Marla and Seabreeze and Felsie wore the shirts. T-shirts. Yeah.
Man, I'd love one of those t-shirts. None of them were real comfortable. When they all got together to do it, you could tell none of them were real comfortable with you could tell that they were not totally excited about wearing the shirt in the middle of the park.
I was trying to, not that it matters, I was trying to figure out who was the real brain trust in that whole situation, because in a community that
she was drunk, I remember that guy.
In a community that really, really didn't, like TT, there was a lot of people that looked at those three shirts and went, oh shit,
And
you
that's
know,
me
you
and
know,
Sam were still talking about that time. And
yeah.
I remember when they did it, we went live and Sam was streaming it and she was like, look at these motherfuckers right
Look
here.
at these
And I
men.
was like, because there was always the thing where I didn't care for Trisha and she had a soft spot.
Right.
That was what we always, and we vibed well doing that. And I was like, yeah, Sam, I'll give you that one. That's pretty fucked up that they're sitting in a park in t-shirts with saying I survived.
They were like all in this little picture, all smiling. It's
And
like
the t-shirt
y'all
said, I
spent fucking
survived.
money on those.
It was I survived
and
Trisha,
I think
right?
they had to buy a minimum of like 10 or something like that.
And it had glitz and
so
glamour
they had
on it
they
or
wore
whatever.
3, and then they had like five more in a box or something like that, because they're not just gonna make 1 or 2.
I want
you know?
one. Are y'all still around? I need one. They should have put Wendy in one of those shirts. They could have all sat there and been like, the world will be a better place. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. Yeah, so Karen dropped the Curly Coop channel. I'm going to start being more active on that. We videotape. We have cameras everywhere that watch our chickens. And they do funny things, so I can start editing them or whatever.
We could, I
eBay.
mean, as much as we, pay attention to, that channel was when we were trying to leave the drama part of it, that's what we were going to do. We were going to do TikToks with the chickens and this or that, but we always get just drawn right back in.
Yeah. It's too fun otherwise.
I mean,
and
like
people say, like, when Wendy's like, we have facts over here. They don't know what they're talking about. We know exactly what we're talking about.
We have great sources.
It's much more entertaining than your stick up the ass monologues that you
I mean, it is. It's like we were kind of chilling out.
Mama Ricky said she had one of the shirts.
Really?
Yeah, the dog destroyed it, though. Go ahead.
When we were just kind of chilling out, something will come up, like the whole thing with like helping Belinda with the rogue mod.
Yeah.
So we did that, keeping up with the news of our friends with their legal thing, whatever. So we're kind of hanging out, and we're, Mandi and I will go couple weeks without doing anything. And then I saw that stream. Someone directed me to the stream that Angelo did, and it just sucked me straight in. But I'm glad I waited. I'm glad I waited tonight. If we had just done a pop-up last night, I'd have sounded as bad as,
I shouldn't have even put it on, but I didn't see it till after it had already uploaded. Like, it was live and it was like, oh, hell. And I was like, oh, he was on, because she does those creator streams. I do watch quite a bit of the ones that she does.
Yeah.
And so I played it, and then it went, and then it went. And then it went. And finally I went.
It was just one thing after another. And it was kind of because, like, Texas Girl was doing the interview, but she wasn't, like, directing the interview. She was just kind of letting this guy go. And I'm telling you, if you tell Angelo talk, he's going to talk about himself. He's going to talk about himself for hours. You've got to stop him. Or maybe guide that, and it was just one more fantastical scenario after another, and it was just like, God damn, dude. It's like, who believes you?
Melissa, you need to film your hens. People love animal. I'm sorry to interrupt. People love animal videos. I have so many clips of when Scout and Sawyer play together. It's adorable. I'm going to start working on it. Sean and I are always like, if we can devote 8 hours a day to editing for different things,
then we can. Though.
That's what people do. Those creators that crank out good content, they spend 8 hours a day.
Well, I look at my job, what I make at my job, and it's a pretty good job at the post office. So if you take my Army pension and you put it aside, and then you say, okay, that's what we have. That's kind of our fixed. We get that every month, no matter what, right? So that's there. And then we look at, okay, so what I make at the post office. I mean, if we could figure out how to make half of that, I would consider, just
20.
But that's the whole thing. But it does take work, and
have a good night, Mama Ricky.
Yeah, it was good to see you.
I mean, there's funny things, like, especially those of you who have, like, roosters. Like, we have Tiny. Melinda, or if you're still listening, Melinda loves Tiny. He's our head rooster. And then we have Ugo, which we hatched from eggs that Karen sent.
Karen sent us, yeah.
Which is this next oldest. And then we have Rufus, who's a barred rock that was supposed to be a hen, but he's a rooster. But was it yesterday Sean said...
Yeah, so I was out feeding the...
And hold on, when Tiny comes around, normally the roosters split.
They just go, because he is the alpha rooster, and he doesn't... Nobody goes into the pen at night until he's situated. So Ugo Karen, you'll like this. So what happens is I let him out and Tiny goes, and then the other two roosters kind of hang out around the coop. Ugo started eating, and he had no idea that Tiny had walked up on him. And it was a thing.
Yeah.
Tiny walked straight up to him, and Ugo didn't leave. He didn't go anywhere. And Tiny let him know that he was there.
He threw him.
He just kind of grabbed him and
And
swung him.
we were joking
And it was
that
like,
Tiny was like, Ugo, I'm right here. And Ugo was like, yeah, I know. No,
okay.
I mean, I'm right here. And then Ugo's like, okay, Dad. And then he's like, all right, this is a thing. And tosses him. He's right tossed him straight out of the pen before, right through the doorway Tiny has. They don't hurt each other.
So Ugo will go up into the pen before, up inside the big coop. You guys have seen the big coop. And doesn't get out of there before, when Tiny leaves for the day, he's not coming back to the coop till the end of the day.
Right.
He's not going back in. So the other two roosters are kind of in and out of the coop, but they have better clear out when he's coming in to go to bed. And it's right when, about dusk when he goes to bed. Well, Ugo didn't make it out of the coop. And Tiny went up into the coop. And I promise you, we heard like thump as he grabbed him and he just swung him against the side of the.
Ugo come rolling out of the doorway.
Rolling out, and it's a whole thing. Now, a lot of people tell me that
we have a picture. We have a camera inside.
Now, a lot of people tell me that these roosters, they're going to keep themselves sorted out. A lot of people think that they're eventually going to fight and really hurt one another. But I've been told as long as they free range and they have enough space to coexist, that they will.
Mm-hmm. They said roosters can get in a mood like anything else, ready to fight or whatever. And so the other roosters know to hit the road. Yeah. So we couldn't do any more than that. Someone asked how many we had. We have 21 hens and 3 roosters, or is it 21 with the roosters?
I think we have 17 in 4. We have 21 or 22 total.
Okay, total.
And so we have 3 roosters, and then we have like 19 hens.
Yeah. Robin, I can't see you. I'm not sure why. There must be some way that I might, I don't know why I can't see you, but I'm going to fix it. But as long as everybody else can see her. We had Muscovy ducks. Our female was the most vicious animal on my property.
Yeah, Muscovies can be pretty vicious. A lot of people, Melissa says the old area of the yard for the hens
nice.
And bantam only coop and run. See, our silkies, we want to do that. We have 3 silkies.
No roosters.
We have Presley silky, we have Diva silky, and we have Bolt. So this youngest silky we named Bolt after Usain Bolt, the sprinter, because this thing
is the fastest.
The silkies, you know what they look like? They look like little tiny hairy ostriches, and this thing just darts around. It's anyway. We would like to eventually. The next coop that we make is going to be like Melissa's talking about for her bantams. It's going to be a coop and a run just for the silkies. We can't
seem to keep a male rooster silky. We've tried so many times. I love your silkies. Yeah, they're adorable. Mm-hmm. There's turkeys came into Tractor Supply today, and I had run it by Sean yesterday. Like, what if we threw a couple of turkeys in? And he was like, no. They're messy.
And they'll beat everything up. They will.
But they'll defend too, right?
They will, but they'll take over there would be carnage out there.
Yeah.
There would be carnage.
Karen said that she's getting 6 to 7 eggs a day. We get like 12 or 13.
We're getting 12 or 13 right now.
But one of them is laying an egg that when I go to wipe it off, it's just crumbling in my hand. You know what I mean? So whoever's laying that one doesn't have enough. Is it protein?
It's a protein thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find.
I have Polish crested turkins and Brahmas we have Fronto Brahma.
Yeah. So we had a couple of Brahmas. We don't have the actual Brahmas. They were buff Brahmas, but we have a couple of their babies. So Fronto is a half Brahma, half Copper Moran, but she looks like her mama.
Yeah. I have speckled Sussex and Barred Rock. Barred Rocks are very pretty. I'm done with my chicken and duck days, but I have to say I miss the gentle clucking. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Duck eggs are tasty and emus make good scrambled eggs. I've heard that too.
Which one? Emus?
Yeah, I've heard, and they're
That's a
big, aren't
big,
they?
big ass egg. It would
Yeah,
have to be.
yeah,
There's a guy around here that has emus. I showed you the videos.
yeah.
He had like 12 little baby emus, and
Melissa, I'm sure you already they got that's I didn't even know that they were close. PF and Melissa. Did you know that I'll show Karen used to have Cujo, the rooster, remember?
I
He
do
would get
remember.
everybody and I'm like, Karen, that rooster's got to go. I think he would even run after her. Yeah, baby chicks are absolutely adorable. But there was one other thing that I was like, um oh, I've said this, and I'm sure people who have watched, even if you're just now talking, knew this, but Karen sent us eggs and we hatched a few. So we have a few from her flock. And it's really kind of cool because we live so far apart, all of us, you know what I mean? But when you exchange eggs, you can like literally have a piece of their flock. But she doesn't have any of our eggs because Karen is not hatch crazy like we are. We are like, we can hatch 20 of them today, but we're being more responsible. Yeah, he would wait for her to open the back door and attack her. And then he was
Yeah,
attacking the dogs. And I was like, Karen, I was like, why is that rooster still around? And she was like, I think we need to get rid. I was like, yeah. I was like, get rid of Cujo. And was it a leghorn? Was it a
yeah, it was a
leghorn?
leghorn. I think she said it was a leghorn.
Yeah, we went to see Ashley McBride too. Oh, how cool is that? Sang our voices out in the cold rain. White Claws. White Claws
Wow.
weren't a thing when I was drinking. They're very popular now. Also, Fireball was not a thing.
Fireball whiskey.
Yeah, that was not a thing. I hear I'm not missing out on anything. It's rough going in and rougher coming out. Yes, remember we did. We took the incubator to a family member's school last year. Was it last year or the year before? It was last year.
It was last year.
And hooked it up and whatever. And, they had like 5 eggs, that like only one hatched. And so it was right before I had all those that I was in the hospital for the health issues. But the elementary school kids were like, only one hatched. And, you've got to have more than one. So
Right.
it was like a colossal fail, only it wasn't.
But
it was last year.
It ended up being a good story because you remember when Mandi went into the hospital, right? So one chick, by itself, and there's just mostly just for warmth reasons. There should be like 2 or 3, together so they can, But anyway, when Mandi went into the hospital for a few days, I gathered the eggs that were in the coop that a broody hen had been laying on. And actually, you did it before you went in.
Because they were.
We put them in my office and we put them on a heating pad. And when I came back from the hospital one night, one of them hatched. So I was able to take that one and take it and unite it with the other one. So there at least was 2. And what I heard is the rest of the eggs that were in the heating pad, we took those to the person that took the 2 chicks, and they hatched. More of them hatched. Yeah. More of them hatched. So
the thing it's a learning thing, but I was always like, well, why couldn't you use the heating pad and wrap the eggs up in it and let them develop that way? Mm-hmm. Well, the problem is, and we found this out through reading, that the warmth or whatever, the chickens don't grow right. Sometimes they're like the intestines will be on the outside and stuff like that.
You mean for like the
heating? That's why you can't like do a heating pad.
Well, they were far enough along though. After they get far enough along, they're pretty much going to hatch unless they freeze.
Right.
But so they were probably about, they hatch on the 21st day, and they were probably 16 or 17 days along when we did it.
Okay.
So I remember I came back. I was so worried about Mandi because she was in the hospital. Y'all remember the hemoglobin was down to a 4, and she's my entire freaking life. And super codependent, and people will attack us for that because I'm 54 and she's 44, so we are codependent. But our kids are grown, and we depend on each other for everything. I'm literally lost without her. And people attack that like it's unhealthy, but we're all in with each other. She's in the hospital, and I'm finally, I can count. I probably have about 5 nights total, maybe 10 since we've been together, that I've slept in our home without her in it. You know, you went to Texas a couple times, you know, for a couple days and then the hospital. But this would, I can't count. I would lose track of fingers. How would I say this? I can count the dice on one hand that Mandi has been in town and like we weren't together.
Yeah.
Like something came up. Anyway, the hospital was one of them. So I finally ended up and I'm just laying in the bed and I'm exhausted and I'm scared. And you know, they're nursing my wife back to health and I'm laying there and I just hear a peeping noise. And I'm like, oh my God. So I go to the office and there was a baby chicken.
He lifted the towel up off
I lifted
of him
the towel up
like,
and it was just sitting there like, hey, what's up?
It was
I still
like
have the video.
I put him in there. We were letting them sit on him, but what ended up happening, they were hatching and the dumb hens were not moving off of them.
So
they were smothered. Like, so we were like, well, I'm going to take them then since they can't do it.
I'm going to find the video if I can.
You're right. Like some people said, I like eggs, but not 24/7. And the other thing I saw, Melissa, was you said the bean plant. How fun was the lima bean plant in school? Do you remember the lima bean? Oh, yeah,
because that's the thing that grows. I mean,
and you're like, oh my gosh, it's growing. You wrap it in a paper towel. And then the last thing you do is you put it in a little Dixie cup and take it home with dirt in it like you're going to grow the damn thing. And your parents wait till it dies. And then, you know, but you take your little plant home and you're like, look, we can grow this. And your mom's like, okay. And then they put it in the windowsill until they like, you know.
I think I have it here. Hold on.
Also like when chicks are really broody, do you know it changes their poop? Like you think that they're unhealthy or whatever, but it's really just like because they're broody. I've been reading about this. You know what I mean? Yeah, don't wash them until you're ready to use them. So when I go to present eggs to people, I don't want to leave like a streak of poop on it or whatever. So I don't know whether to wipe it off. I don't know how to do it.
Here's baby emu. Hold on.
Oh.
These are baby emus right there.
Where did you see those?
Someone brought them into my work.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
This is the season. Those of you who don't know, baby chicks and baby ducks get mailed through the postal mail in boxes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We wish they didn't, and hopefully that'll change eventually. But those were our other babies.
That was the last batch right there that we hatched.
Look at them. They're so cute.
That one would just go.
Cute. They're so tired.
Yeah.
Clean them before you give them. Okay, but then like wipe it out. Okay. For a while I was like buying the egg cleanser stuff, and that stuff's expensive. You know what I mean? I almost have a little. Oh, alpacas. I've heard of them. They get big, right? They're like llamas, right?
Yeah. I think they have them down in the. I'm a little disappointed because I thought I had that one little video of the baby chicken.
Where the hell is it? Oh, that's my grandmother's house.
Yup, that's what, yeah.
Forgot about that. The house that we went for every holiday and whatever when I was little ended up getting taken over by, it was a meth house.
So from March 24th until April 25th, and we went to Colorado and they're gone. And that was the one where I walk up and there's a chicken in there. You know,
it was very cool.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, help me with that, Karen. I need to know. We gave away, I mean, if we get 12 or 14 a day, we're literally, luckily we have neighbors that are like, no, you give us enough. Sometimes we even still have to buy eggs. So they'll take most of them. I just don't, but someone said about like old folks. I wonder if if we do the Easter basket thing, I can put eggs in it or something.
I'm going to end up having to bring some to work. We'll bring a bunch to Mom.
Yeah.
She'll want them.
They're yummy.
For sure.
They're yummy, yummy, yummy. Guess what?
What?
We love you guys.
Yeah. I mean, got a lot of new people in the last like 2 or 3 streams that we've done over the last couple of weeks. There's been some new people. And you're welcome in here.
Some OGs in here.
There's been some OGs, and I say it, I like a broken record, but
I know,
said that we just hang in there with the whole Sam thing, and she's gonna piss enough people off and fuck with enough people that you know, it took a while, but now you know, people are
We
back.
finally were
And
like, we told you she's no
yeah,
good.
we
She's
told
no
you she was no
good.
good.
She'll,
We'll eventually do all the new people or the people that are back. We'll probably piss you off again at some point by doing
yeah.
something.
But luckily, we won't remember what we did.
No.
There are people that'll be like, I forgot what you did, ATX. And
Mhm.
I'm like, well, fucking tell me. I've done a bunch of shit. What did I
Yeah.
do? Well, you
Mhm.
did this back then. Oh,
Everybody was gunning for me, like pulling for me when I left that situation that I was in. And
thank
then
you.
you know, when I said that, well, I have a new girlfriend, and they were, it's whatever. You just as well, it's Mrs. ATX. Oh, fuck that bitch.
She's
You
like,
know, she
she's
was like, she
such a
is
bitch. And
such a
I'm like,
bitch.
I know, I try. Anyway, we'll see you guys later. Thank you, mods and supporters.
I
And
am going to, like, the first
right,
part, I'm
we're
going to
too
call part
old.
one. There's a part one and a part two tonight because we started pixelating. We really talk some fuck shit on part one and before it goes. So I've actually changed it to,
Have you?
I've said
I've had a
I said
bunch.
ATX Tomahawk, that weird dude, part one. That's what I called it.
Really,
And so
I
I don't know
have
what I'll call it.
often told people that say I owe them an apology. I'm like, you're gonna have to tell me what I did,
Yeah.
and then I'll give you. But apologies on demands don't mean anything. And
Yeah.
you're right, Melissa. We're
Mhm.
all way older than we were. What,
It's
9
true.
years ago?
Well, it was
9 years
about
ago.
7 for I got into the condo.
Okay, so let's say everyone was
2016,
by
8,
2017.
like
That's what I'm
8 years
saying.
ago.
We're
Yeah.
all older now.
Yeah.
I hope Frey is gonna do okay. She will be. She'll have
Mhm.
a big scar. Tell me what she's having done. We love you guys. Thank
Yep.
you. We will be back again soon.
Something else will inspire us, and we'll be